Match day 2 in the USL Championship this evening as a pair of teams that won on opening weekend do battle as Behtlehem Steel begin a new era in a new stadium. It's Talon Energy Stadium, the site for Behtlehem Steel, playing host to North Carolina FC. My name is Chris Whittingham, joined by Devin Kerr for commentary this evening, and both of these sides have hit the ground running in USL. We're going to begin with the host, Behtlehem Steel, away from home against an expansion side in their first ever home match, and Behtlehem Steel spoiled the party.
In the offseason, they decided to bring in a different structure organization-wide. Not only that, 96 of 98 lineups over the previous matches. Recipe for success? You bet. Even though it's different every single game and you see a different 11, they came out and were on the front foot the entire match. Some fantastic appearances by Kasper Shabilko as well as Zach Zandy in the 68th minute to take down the Birmingham Legion. Got a great 2-0 victory.
Yeah, and away from home in that kind of environment was always going to be hard, and we should highlight the 2 goal scorers on the evening. Shabilko not in the 18 tonight, but Zach Zandy is on his professional debut and marks it with a goal. 6
players overall made their debut, and each and every one of them on a scale of 1 to 10, Brendan Burke, their head coach, said they were an 8 or better. Most of these young men are boys. They are 18, 19, 20 years old, going up against the big guns. They did a great job. Keep an eye on number 42, Jamoy Topi did a great job on the back line. Just got a nod for the Reggae Boys, the Jamaican national team.
Of these 6 debutants, 3 of them Academy products. Meanwhile, North Carolina FC at home a week ago, getting the 4-1 victory against the twice champions Louisville City.
Outsteps Colin Clark. New organization brings in, guess who? Interim manager Dave Sarakin for the United States men's national team. How does he do? Brings in 10 players. You think it's going to be a new regime? That's not the case. Keeps a lot of the same structure. Different philosophy, though. You saw the entire match. They were on the front foot, consistently pushing the pace against Louisville City, the back-to-back champs. They struggled all night long. It was capped off by Robert Christo right at the end of the match. Great 4-1 victory.
And his opposite number, Brendan Burke, saying he was the signature addition, Dave Sarakin, into this league, a former U.S. men's national team coach into the USL Championship. And it is some USL Championship action coming up next. Behtlehem Steel hosts North Carolina FC. Live scenes from Talon Energy Stadium. Our match day referee, Laurent Varga, leading the teams out onto the pitch. See the clean Behtlehem Steel kits, white with the blue collars and trim, and it will be North Carolina FC in the all blue with the gold trim this evening, as we now can bring you our starting lineup for tonight's match, starting first with the host. Plenty of changes, as you might expect, Devin Kerr.
Not shocking whatsoever. We gave you the graphic before. 96 out of 98 starting lineups for the Behtlehem Steel organization. Let's make it 97 and 99. Nathan Harriel, right back, comes in. He is a youngster, 17 years of age, initially committed to Clemson, decided to go pro. his counterpart, Matt Rial. He'll be a fun one to get up and down the pitch. Nice call-up recently with the U20s. But the man to get everything going is number 45, James Chambers. He is the captain. He leads this team. He will look to push them to victory with all the young talent around him.
He is decidedly the only player with a 3 in his age. And with North Carolina FC, a totally unchanged team, Dave Sarakin pleased with a 4-1 win over the champions a week ago.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you? They looked fantastic in their season opener. Now they look to go on the road, and it's easy to do when you're at home. A lot of energy, great fans, good environment. Now you go on the road. What are you capable of doing against a very young but talented squad? Different structurally, different organization way going forward and defensively. How are you going to counteract these punches early from the energy from the young boys?
And Philadelphia Union is the home venue. It is their MLS stadium, and Behtlehem Steel will play there this season, moving from Lehigh now to Talon Energy Stadium as we are underway. North Carolina FC going from left to right, Behtlehem Steel from right to left, and it is Behtlehem Steel getting the win a weekend ago in Birmingham. The first ever match for Birmingham. Birmingham Legion sees 3 points. Shabilko and Zach Zandy, the goal scorers for Bethlehem on the evening. Meanwhile, North Carolina FC 4-1 winners over Louisville City Lomas. McCabe, Iwolo, and Christo, the goals for the visitors this evening, North Carolina FC, and just an incredible start for Dave Sarakin and his team in USL Championship.
Dream start, right? I mean, you'd love to go out and get a win in general, yet alone 4-1, yet alone versus back-to-back champions. So just a dream start for him, and I really like the conversation we had with him, and said, you know, Dave, a lot of times you'll see a new manager come in and really clean house, bring in their own personnel, new players. That wasn't the case for him. He had an opportunity to really bring back some big names, and I like he went out and got Ben Spees on loan from Indy. I think he can make a big impact on this squad.
And it is Spees who sends the ball towards the penalty area, but dealt with by Bethlehem Steel. Aaron Guillen. Now possession will be cycled, and be curious to see what the press looks like here from Bethlehem Steel. This is an entirely changed organization from a philosophical point of view. It's a possession-based, almost entirely 4-2-3-1 organization a year ago. Philadelphia Union under new management. Urs Tanner comes from Germany and brings some high pressing with him, and that permeates throughout the entire club, including Bethlehem Steel, as the offside flag is up against Marios Lomas.
Like what Brendan Burke said, he said that, yeah, it's a different look, and they're going to funnel it from top down and through the youth ranks as well, but opening ourselves up in this manner, you're still going to see variations of the philosophy of what we're trying to do. It's not going to be like last year, the plug and play of the 4-2-3-1. It opens up for a bit more exciting football at times, but it also opens them up to mistakes, and he admits that. He said the growing pains have been a little bit difficult so far, but they think the ceiling is a bit higher with this philosophy.
He is allowed to make tweaks and changes to make the system a bit more explainable, but you see 4 white shirts in your picture. As solid header there from Chambers, right down there by Cole Turner, but it will run easily for Alex Tambakis in goal. Greek goalkeeper for North Carolina FC, off 33 starts a year ago, 7 clean sheets. See in your picture, Jack DeVries, the 16-year-old, up there ready to press at a moment's notice. 7 teenagers in the team this evening as Lomas can take down. The tackle comes in, though, from Jamoy Topi. Carlos Miguel Coronel, one of the changes in goal tonight for Bethlehem Steel, one of 4 changes into this team this evening, as Spees will try and play the ball first time. Out to chase down that left-hand side. Iwolo on the turn. Cross lofted in, taken down by Stephen Miller, who will now strike with his left. Always heading wide. Appeals for handball against Chambers, but referee determines that was not a deliberate attempt to play the ball. Perhaps a bit of ball to hand there.
That's a rough one. It's difficult because it definitely directly hits his hand, but the ball jumps up. He's already in the movement, and no one's around him. I mean, it's not a shot on goal. It's not deliberate, so he's right to not blow the whistle.
You do see anytime the ball strikes an arm, it is dangerous, but referee taking a lenient view of that one. James Chambers, the lone experienced player in this team, 32 years of age, the Irishman. His opportunities on here for Bethlehem Steel. Down this right-hand side, Issa Rayan turning again towards that byline, warded off by Sam Brotherton, the New Zealand international. A lovely 1-2 there, and Rayan will receive the ball once again on the edge of the penalty area, and one back by Austin DeLuz. Spees try and hit on the counter. Lovely ball with the outside of the boot. DJ Taylor. See Thomas McCabe almost dropping in between the central defenders, looking a little bit like a three at the back system.
That's Dave Sarakin trying to get his outside backs involved in the likes of Aaron Gein and DJ Taylor. You'll see them really hug the touchline. Comcia will stretch himself out a little bit, as well as Sam Brotherton. That's a different look for Comcia, who's coming from a three-back system at North Carolina. Had the opportunity to chat with him. I said, you know, what's it like for you coming from the three into the four? And he gave you the shrug of, oof. It's a bit different. It's hard when you're so used to looking left and right and seeing one look for over the course of 4 years to immediately, you got to flip a switch, come into something like this. But it's good to have the likes of a Tommy McCabe or an Austin DeLuz who can drop back in between and give you a bit of help from time to time.
And one would think it's just positions on the field and it's slightly different, but the change from the three at the back to four at the back is major shifts in responsibility for everyone on the pitch, and I'd imagine that can prove difficult.
Very much so, and that all comes down to communication at the end of the day.
Nice ball on the channel for Matt Real, who swings it in, but a bit overcooked, and will come out for a throw for North Carolina FC. And Real, one of those players that could make his way up through this club. It does seem this emphasis on trying to have homegrown players come through, that defense is one of the areas that this Philadelphia Union organization has done best. A pair of central defenders in Austin Trusty and Mark McKenzie coming through, and now potentially a left back matriculating up in Matt Real.
One of my personal favorites, the holding midfielder Derek Jones as well.
Sure. Some
big names. I ran a story on him last year and kind of called him the Fab Five because they came up through that YSC program put together by Richard Graham, and actually a bunch of European teams kind of following the same suit. Bayern Munich did an overhaul of their system a few years ago because kind of like what's going on in the MLS, the talent wasn't really filtering through to the top team, and so that's what the Union are really trying to do. Bethlehem Steel has had some success, and they're hoping the Union can get that now.
Yeah, of the multiple debutantes a week ago for Bethlehem Steel, 3 of them academy graduates. See the sheer volume of teenagers. Ernst Tanner, top of the organization, has wanted to shift the focus of this club into almost exclusively a side for teenagers, as Chambers will play the ball up in the feet of DeVries. They have of Churchville, Maryland, 16 years of age. Playing against seasoned veterans. Real. And a pocket of space opens up here for Bethlehem Steel. The right-footed attempt is straight at Alex Tambakis from Zach Zandy there.
There's the options we talked about. Again, change of philosophy. Zach Zandy on the left. Last week, this week, he shifts to the right, but he does a good job finding that pocket of space about 30 yards out. Quick turn and a release. Tambakis had it covered. Again, very talented at such a young age.
And Zandy getting a goal a weekend ago against Birmingham Legion. That was not the right ball there from Jamoy Topi. And the Jamaican putting the ball out to touch. North Carolina trying to play out of the pressure. Back with the goalkeeper, Tambakis. Lofted up for Iwolo. Now Bethlehem will try and play out. Both of these teams finishing just about either side of the playoff line a year ago. Bethlehem Steel making it and winning a game, knocking out Pittsburgh Riverhounds on penalties. The 2018 USL Cup playoffs. North Carolina finishing 2 points off the pace in 9th. 8 teams make the playoffs in each conference, and North Carolina just off the pace, so they make the change. First time since 2011 that North Carolina FC make a change in manager with Colin Clark going out, and quite a find in Dave Sarakin coming off a year stint managing the U.S. men's national team. Now a full-time manager here in the USL Championship.
Not a bad replacement, is it?
Not at all.
Check marks the spot for sure. And yeah, you know, going from the Carolina Railhawks and then funneling through to the changeover and NCFC, they've done well. Last year was a peculiar year, we'll say. So much talent on their roster, but very up and down in their performances. That's why you really thought they might make a lot of changes, but it shows you sometimes just what a change in manager can do. And the likes of Dave Sarakin comes in, keeps 10 guys out of 22 on the roster, and a lot of them are starting here tonight, done very well for themselves.
Something like a player like Mario Slomas only made 8 starts a year ago for North Carolina FC, so finding that opportunity, and Sarakin did tell local media that he was looking at players he could bring in, but just decided that, all right, this is my group and we're going with it. That's as much a talent as anything. Any manager can come in and bring in his own guys and mold it that way, but coaching up the players that you have, certainly a testament to the new North Carolina FC manager. Thrown here for Bethlehem Steel. Taken off the chest there by DeVries. And now Chambers dispossessed in the center of the park. An opportunity on here for North Carolina FC. Duluth sliding through, but DeVries able to poke it in the path of Harriel. Well, played out there from Sia. That's a loose touch there from Stephen Miller, but does manage to at least win it back. And a nice sliding tackle spoken into the path of DJ Taylor. See the relentless sprints there. That time from Cole Turner. Not allowing North Carolina even a second on the ball, and it yields a turnover in play. DeVries, and a bit too much on it, and in the path of Rayan. And out for a goal kick. But you see the pressure yielding results.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Chris. The frustration that it's causing the back line, and it is a high energy, it's a high tempo, but you really, the dividends pay off because you push so high, you force North Carolina to make decisions sometimes where you're not even overly pressuring the ball. You're pushing them into negative spaces, and then they're looking to play that long ball or force a pass that they don't necessarily have to. It's good work by Bethlehem Steel so far.
Bethlehem Steel's run in the playoffs a year ago. It ended in the conference semifinal round against the eventual champions Louisville City by 2-0. Might they be able to do the same? Opportunity on here for Bethlehem Steel. DeVries sliding crosses in, and well dealt with there by North Carolina, but not before Jack DeVries, the 16-year-old, can create an opportunity. Corner for Bethlehem Steel. The Issa Rayan over to swing in. As Chambers is the option short and will take it. Now, nice bit of space here. One for Zandy. Solid pace on that cross into the penalty area. On the edge, Shivani Willis striking but straight into a blue shirt. And now Matt Real will play with his goalkeeper. The 22-year-old Brazilian, Carlos Miguel Coronel, has a back four in front of him, age 17, 18, 19, and 19. And that is just life at Bethlehem Steel.
Some of them can't even vote yet. It's playing professional soccer.
Definitely all of them can't drink, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Put on there between Rayan and Real. And again, back to the goalkeeper. This time the long option towards DeVries, but cut out there by Brotherton. Stephen Miller first time, and Lomas doing very well to power it off the chest. And we'll leave it here with Guillen. McCabe finding himself in space. Deleuze. And now Spies slid in the path of Stephen Miller down this right-hand side. His delivery is towards Lomas. Arriving there was Iwolo as well, and it needed to be dealt with. Seen that high-arcing service work very well for North Carolina FC. Led to the second goal a weekend ago against Louisville. And nearly on there as Spies can try and find the ball into the channel. Does find it for Stephen Miller in the penalty area, turns, and we'll leave it here with Taylor. First time ball, not enough power on it there from Deleuze. Ball down the line. Chasing was Ryan. You see the pitch playing perhaps a little bit dry, a bit slower.
And keep an eye on Saran, number 40, just on the front touch of your screen. He's an interesting one who came up through this organization. They played him primarily outside on the right and up top last year. Spent 1 year at Duke University under John Kerr and had a great year, all freshman team, but last game out, what does Brendan Burke do? Stick him at outside back. And now they're pushing him back up top and letting him run free. So that mindset we talked about not only a formation and philosophy change, as an individual player, you're now having to change things and immediately jump left to right. That's not easy to deal with, especially at such a young age.
Spies let it run, and it'll come to Taylor. And now Spies again towards that byline. Able to pick it out towards that back post. The header comes in from Deleuze. With Cornell behind it.
First time that we've really seen North Carolina be a bit more dangerous in the final third. They're trying to find that channel movement, and they've had trouble because of the midfield play by Bethlehem Steel. Matt Real got caught out of position just a bit, overlapping run. Chambers coming to chase him down in the quarter. Couldn't really get to it. Good movement from Deleuze, though.
And if Spies probably picks out Lomas, it's probably 1-0 as he was unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard area. But a decent chance there for North Carolina FC. Alex Tambakis putting it out of play. Came through the youth setup at Panathinaikos in Greece. Team regularly playing European football. Taylor. Again, pressure, but Taylor doing a bit better that time, the 21-year-old. All the academy products on the pitch for Bethlehem Steel. Taylor has won himself as Iwolo blazes it across, and it actually threatened the goal of Cornell more than look for any potential targets in the penalty area, and Cornell forced to put it out for a corner.
Iwolo trying to hit this? That's confidence, huh? There's Austin Deleuze once again, run a play. Like the interchanging play that has started to pick up between he and Tommy McCabe, finding Iwolo. There's that channel run we talked about. He is trying to have a go. He almost catches Cornell off his line. Not a bad look.
Trying to beat him at his near post. That would have been a bit embarrassing there for Cornell, but he manages to cover. You do see some wind in the area from the movement of the corner flag as the corner is swung in, and it was nearly dropped there by Cornell, but he claims in the end. Feels like 39, 15-mile-per-hour winds you see reflected, and it's the kind of difficult conditions you mentioned for North Carolina playing away, but also for a young team in Bethlehem to get used to playing in these sorts of conditions.
I'm good right here. I'm good out of the cold. Those days are done for me.
Safe confines of the commentary booth.
That's right.
Jamoy Topi. No, Shivani Willis, a Jamaican, in some space. Good ball into the channel. Saw Zandy play a bit more on that left-hand side. Has been afforded the opportunity to play more centrally, and is asking for the ball there from DeVries. Chambers sprays it out to that right-hand side, but a bit too much power on it. Rayan a little late to start his run.
And it's also some of the options that Brendan Burke talked to us about, where Nathan Harriel, the youngster, can get a bit higher up in those outside back positions. Last year, regularly, you would never see anything like that. Maybe a press here and there, an overlapping run. They like to use Olivier Bizo on the right a lot. But tonight, you can see it. Just the two central defenders are spreading wide. James Chambers, we saw it from NCFC, but James Chambers tucking in, and they are just allowing Matt Real and Nathan Harrell to push high up the pitch. That's the movement from Zach Zandy, where he can tuck inside and explore the depths of the central part a bit further.
I do find fascinating, just as a general point, I mean, most managers in the USL Championship have the unilateral ability to pick their system and their tactics, but an organization like this, it's coming from up top. The person in charge is dictating, this is how we're going to play, and you are charged with implementing it, both at MLS and USL Championship level. That's an interesting change for a coach to have to make. It's not his philosophy, it's the philosophy of somebody else.
Well, think about the change that he's had to make, all the variables that are at play. I mean, Brendan Burke regularly won't know who he's getting for weekend games until the morning of. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll get a Philadelphia Union player that's loaned, maybe a Bethlehem Steel player that's getting a look from the Union. And so that's somewhere where that, 97 out of 99 lineups now comes into play, where he has to deal with the plug and play, not structurally, but at least personnel-wise. And that's very difficult to deal with. But it goes to show you the success that he's been able to have dealing with those circumstances.
Great ball there from Deleuze to find Stephen Miller on his way, but well dispossessed there by Topi. Let's see on the top corner of your screen, news of a goal coming from Charleston, as Zico Lewis has put Charleston Battery ahead of Hartford Athletic by a 1-0. As Harriel puts it out of play. We do have two finals from earlier today as well, both in the Western Conference, where Monarchs a 0-0 draw against expansion side El Paso Locomotive, and Reno 1868 with a 2-1 win over Austin Bull. The brace from Brian Brown for Reno.
I'm sure Ian Russell was more than disappointed with the comeback by Braden Cloutier in Orange County last week. Had a few words for his boys, and
it was them who make the comeback today, 1-0 down and win by 2-1. Ray out on this left-hand side. Here's Chambers. Very much the general out on the pitch. A lovely first-time ball on the path of DeVries, who's got some space to hit. Jack DeVries weaving his way through. Might still fall kindly. DeVries just a little indecisive there. Cole Turner. Ray Allen Chambers again. Here's DeVries again. Now that it appears the opportunity is gone, what'd you see there from DeVries?
Yeah, it was a bit of youthful exuberance, wasn't it? Great ball movement coming out of the back. Love the ball by Chambers, which really dissected the middle of the field. But DeVries had two options. Take one touch, hit it for about 20, 25 yards out. He also had an outside overlapping run from Nathan Harriel, neglected to do either. So he's going to realize once he starts to get put in these situations more often, decisions got to be quicker, so they don't want that gap to close down.
There's great work there from Jamoy Tope, who's under pressure from Uwolo. Managed to work out of it and earn himself a free kick. Chambers. And Ofemu. Scored in Bethlehem Steel's 2-1 win in Cary a year ago. One of the two games between these two teams. Saw the other end in a draw at the Goodman Stadium in Lehigh. Change of venue for Bethlehem Steel.
That was Ofemu's debut. I mean,
not bad at all.
It's crazy. These kids are just so young. I mean, you think about what they're able to do against their competition, but it goes to show you the progression that's going on around this country. It's nice to see.
And also why these MLS teams value these games so much. Seasoned veterans out there. Austin Deleuze has been in North Carolina FC since 2012, a 31-year-old player, and opportunities in the center of midfield as the touch Not quite what Issa Rayan was looking for out for a goal kick, but get Shivani Willis, a 21-year-old, going against a 31-year-old in the center of the park, and that's the kind of experience that these players are looking for.
It's not easy to simulate in a training session, is it? At least amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
When you're the Behtlehem Steel, sometimes you'll get...
Sometimes you're the senior one. You're playing against academy players.
Exactly. Spot on.
This is Guillen, native of El Paso. Second season with North Carolina FC, started 23 times a year ago. As Deleuze with the switch. Cut out there by Real, but doing well to win it back was Taylor. And now Stephen Miller will cut inside. Strike with his left, took a mini deflection on the way through, it looked. Coronel able to pretty easily claim that one.
Not a bad look from Miller. A bit more confident on that right boot, but never hesitant to cut inside and challenge one-on-one. It does catch a deflection. Comes off Topi. Well done by the goalkeeper, Coronel, to slide just a bit to his right and make the save, but not really enough power to really push the pace.
Both of these teams winning a week ago, still 0-0 after 25 minutes. Behtlehem Steel winning by 2-0 a weekend ago in Birmingham, the first ever match for Birmingham Legion. North Carolina FC defeating the champions by 4-1 in carryover Louisville City. Tonight in USL Championship action. This team's looking for 6 points from 6. Talon Energy Stadium, home of Philadelphia Union, and now for the season home of Behtlehem Steel. In their years in Lehigh, they would not have played a match at night. As the ball is clipped in towards Lomas. That's blatant handball there from Marios Lomas, who tried to give himself the opportunity in the penalty area, and the Dutchman rightly whistle for handball.
Saw my hand up, right? I didn't want to get out of my seat. I was comfortable. It was a nice game going back and forth, but
I mean,
it's just coming off him, and yeah, pretty easy to catch. Literally.
Right, he almost
Lomas.
did catch it. Appreciate the effort, but as blatant as it gets. There are times I wonder if the handball rule is enforced too strictly. Sometimes it's difficult to get your arm out of the way. That was very much not that. As Rian will play it in towards Andy in the penalty area. And his touch just a bit loose. Fans, you can follow Behtlehem Steel and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus. Home to USL, MLS, UFC, Serie A, and much more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. Just watching the FA Cup this afternoon on ESPN Plus. Manchester United going out to Wolves. Manchester City going through against Swansea. Check it all out at ESPN Plus. Another throw in here, a bit further up the pitches. Chambers puts it out for a throw. DJ Taylor. Nice touch there from Ben Spies. You can see the quality. He loses out. And a late whistle there from Lauren Varga, who hasn't had a ton to do this evening, but gives a free kick in a fairly dangerous area here to North Carolina FC.
It's a bit weak on the whistle. Coming out, Matt Real. Hard done by the referee in that situation. Good opportunity for North Carolina to put a little pressure back on Behtlehem Steel. They've had to play chase a bit too much in the first half here so far, really reacting to their counterparts.
And it's Ben Spies over it. That's it with a decent amount of pace. The header comes in. And again, I think it took a deflection. Brotherton with the header on target, and Coronel able to claim.
Difficult to hear, but just before he knocks this ball in, you could actually catch Brendan Burke that says, if this leads to a goal, that's gross, based upon the referee's decision for a foul. Nice ball in, though. Good job, but like you said, just couldn't really get enough on it, Brotherton, to really challenge the goalkeeper, and that's kind of been the story in the first half. When they have got an opportunity, the balls are kind of redirected. Austin Deleuze earlier on, Brotherton this time around. They just can't really push the pace on the set pieces or the lofted balls into the back post.
And it's Brotherton again winning the header, this time in a defensive effort. Chambers trying to poke on. 32-year-old James Chambers as Spies with a lovely swiveling touch there. But Brotherton again to play, but gives it straight to Chambers. 32-year-old, oldest player in the team by 10 years. Brendan Burke telling us for this game just how important he is, just to have a player like that. There was a little bit of an organizational question about, this is a fairly young team, and in the end they all come to the same decision, which is James Chambers needs to be with us to kind of marshal this group.
You need that, don't you? He's assumed a sort of a hybrid coaching role at times, and don't be surprised if you see him continue to gain his badges, and you've seen that from a couple of the guys within this organization. We'll bring you some more of that around halftime. Fun little piece on head coach Brendan Burke and his now assistant Stephen Hogan, who was also at Reading. Good stuff there.
Ball there from Chambers, but Brotherton coming through to sweep clear. New Zealand international has been involved plenty. Fully capped international was called into the side and played at the Confederations Cup in Russia. 15 senior caps for New Zealand. Chambers again, this time trying to play the ball into the channel. There's the air traffic of Philadelphia heard overhead. Guillen. Mentioned Brendan Burke in his 4th season as manager of this club. He's seen plenty of changes and managed very well considering his charge. Making the playoffs multiple times. Getting this team playing exactly as the organization wants it. Cole Turner. Stephen Miller putting it away. Stephen Miller in his 3rd season with the club. Came from Tulsa Roughnecks and USL to join the NASL version of North Carolina FC. That's a loose ball there, played back. And now opportunity on here for Donovan Iwolo. Spots the free runner to his left in Guillen. Deleuze. And Spies. Stephen Miller. It looked like the counter was on, but fizzled off there after Iwolo's ball to Guillen. McCabe and Miller flicking on. And he's been a wide right player his entire time in Carolina. Started as a right back, but bombed forward so often that stick him in the right side of midfield.
You gotta remember, that's a guy that, going back a bit here to Coldier days, but putting upwards of 30 goals in the back of the net in a hybrid midfield type position. And yeah, he was leading scorer a couple years ago, drifting him from the outside back position then into the midfield area. We saw it a few times last year as well. Sarakin electing to leave him out there.
Stephen Miller on the turn, trying to poke through it in the path of Spies. We'll leave it here with Taylor. There are the instructions coming in. Flicked on header by Guillen, well done in the path of Iwolo, who can peel back, and instead his cross comes off him last and out for a goal kick. This match is also presented by Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Both these teams looking to go top of the championship after 2 weeks. 6 points from 6 is a dream return. Ziwolo was pinned in the corner there. Ball goes out for a throw-in for Bethlehem Steel. You see Ben Spies there just organizing the press. Make this throw-in difficult for Bethlehem. Lomas as well, playing his role. After a very liberal number of steps forward, the throw-in finally comes in. Chambers towards DeVries. Sliding tackle, well on there. Real and Taylor reading cleverly. You see the press on now from Bethlehem Steel. Deleuze, very calmly poking there for Taylor. And up the line there from Topi. Chambers. This team's just struggling a little bit to create chances at the moment.
It's funny, 37 minutes into the match, if you look at the statistics of what's gone on back and forth between the two squads, Bethlehem's had the better run of it, but like you said, not really producing in the final third. And a lot of that has to do with what's going on top between Jack DeVries as well as Issa Rayan. Is a pretty bit of footwork. Almost got away with it. And the two of them individually are doing quite well. Like you just saw, great footwork by Jack DeVries, but they're not really playing off of each other. The interchanging play, it's lackluster to say the least. And so when you get Shivani Willis or Cole Turner or Zach Zandy looking to make that final pass, the space isn't there. They've done their work, but in the final third, the two boys up top have to communicate better to allow those opportunities, to really give them a shot at goal, because Tembakis is kind of just standing twiddling his thumbs back there.
His first time leave there from Rayan for DeVries. A free kick for North Carolina FC. Lee for offside. Alexander Comcia, four-year player at the University of North Carolina. Playing for one of two options. College product you can choose, either Charlotte Independence or North Carolina FC. Lomas. An opportunity on here for North Carolina FC as Lomas plays in the path of Deleuze, as Guillen running with him. A bit awkward there as Guillen could have drifted offside, but well done there. McCabe. And again, it just seems like that incisive ball was there, but just unable to find it. Taylor. Deleuze again, and Stephen Miller not able to find the right arc. The ball out wide, and now Bethlehem Steel can try and break. Willis. Ofemu. Well done there by James Chambers. Sends Nathan Harriel on his way. Zandy, who looks to have a bit of a free roll at the moment. It's been all over. Ofemu. And forced to turn back and play with his keeper. DeVries doing very well to win the header, but he was offside. It would have sent Rayan on his way. Jack DeVries just offside.
All of that starts from the 19-year-old Behtlehem, young center back. Again, just a few reps last year. Only 12 opportunities, scored in his debut, which we referenced, but last year you probably would have seen him knock that ball long almost immediately. This time, see the maturation where he just steps on the ball, goes back, starts on the goalkeeper, they play the long ball. Reese coming back from an offside position, but well done maintaining possession. Give them another look.
Put on there by North Carolina as well to maintain possession. So now Guillen trying to win in the air, and it is a throw-in. No foul as well, but the referee will stop play. Going down on that far side was Nathan Harriel.
You can be further up, further forward. You don't have to drop so deep. So that, yeah.
Here's some of the instructions there from Dave Sarakin. Well-placed microphones. I think some of those tactical instructions. As you have a look here at the coming together with Guillen and Harriel.
And Nathan Harriel was asking for a high elbow, but the two of them, 50-50 ball in the air. They're both kind of throwing their force at each other. And you were spot on, Dave Sarakin telling Alex Comcia's back that he can come a bit further over.
Chambers dispossessed and well there by Iwolo, but referee brings it back for a foul. And Iwolo is confused, and I think he's got a little bit of a case. That seemed like a clean tackle on Chambers. At least from my vantage point.
I'll agree. I'm with you. I'm with you. Trust me, I'm almost always willing to jump on the side and disagree with the referee.
Player's instinct, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
Real trying to slide it down the line and just about did so for DeVries. Again, shows that quality footwork, turning and leaving. Willis for Real. And a foul there from Deleuze. Snaps in there at Shivani Willis, and he gives away a free kick to Bethlehem Steel. An opportunity to swing one in the penalty area here for the hosts. Chambers and Real over it. Chambers looks like he wants it. Two-man wall asking for the ball to be placed a little bit further back. See some pretty healthy chunks of the pitch taken up there. Real leaves it for Chambers, who swings in. The flicked on header, and a sprawling save there from Tampakis. Thought for a moment that one of those white shirts might have been offside, but the Greek goalkeeper doing very well.
We've seen Alex Tambakis get the nod on Team of the Week and Save of the Week. This could be right up there with it. They're going to check on Willis there, but what a good ball served in. The run in from the back line and just a flick onto the far post. It's very difficult for a goalkeeper shifting to his right and then has to immediately jump back to his left. It's a great save.
I thought with the disguised movement there, Real going and then some of the players making the runs in, that Willis might have been offside. Everything good in the judgment of the assistant. A great save from Tampakis as again the corner is delivered in. It's still on here in the penalty area, sliding and still trying to get multiple efforts on goal. In there was Topi, who has the ball again on the turn. That was a bit ambitious there from a central defender, but he does have that kind of tackling ability. Topi across. Swept away again. Just about getting the job done defensively there, North Carolina FC. Chambers to Harriel. Continues the work inside. And taken off it there by McCabe and now Lomas. Throw in for North Carolina FC as we approach the end of the first half. And by far the best run of chances here for Bethlehem Steel in succession.
You're expecting Jamoy Topi to make these tackles on the defensive side of things, but this was the first chance. Great save by Tambakis. They rotated out to the corner, and then gotta like the hard work by the 19-year-old Jamaican, just continuously pushing down him, but he's got to release the ball. you're a center back for a reason. you make the one step over, you win the tackle, you've done your duty, knock it into the box, let the boys get on it. Instead, it takes 2-3 touches. North Carolina does a good job winning the ball back.
Try to do Cruyff turns to create some space, a bit ambitious for a central defender. This is Rayan trying to play the cross in, or rather Harriel, excuse me. Too many long stoppages, will not anticipate too much at a time in this first half. Now then, opportunity might be on us as an awkward bounce. Spies, Lomas, goal scorer a week ago. Can he make it 2-2? Strikes towards goal instead of playing in the run of Stephen Miller. And it's harmless in the end.
What you're seeing there is frustration from the number 9. Hasn't really had a lot of touches on the ball, and given the chance a goal scorer wants to go, try and challenge the goalkeeper, does not pick his head up. Stephen Miller was definitely available as an option.
It almost looked like no matter what, he was taking the shot on.
Oh yeah, that happens. So I'm going, I don't care what you guys are saying. I hear your calls. I'm a goal scorer, I'm up top. I wear the 9 for a reason, and I'm gonna try and make my most out of it.
And I said, hasn't had much of the game.
Yeah.
And so I've got to run towards goal. I'm gonna have a hit.
Funny how that plays out, because last week, almost assuredly, that ball gets tucked into the space and Stephen Miller runs onto it. But, you know, the run of play and the caveats of a game, the ups and downs really mess with your mental capability to make your decisions. And that's no fault of his own. You want your striker to gain confidence, but you also want him to be level-headed, and just judgment got the better of him in there.
Lovely poke there from Cole Turner. And now we'll play it into the channel. Rayan trying to get onto it, aggressively pursuing the ball to win it off of Taylor, but well done there by North Carolina FC. You have seen the minimum of 1 minute added on, and now Lomas again with an opportunity. The tackle comes in, and the referee from some distance has given a penalty. On the stroke of halftime, North Carolina FC will have a golden chance to take the lead into the break.
There's no lobbying here by Nathan Harriel. He knows his hand got caught in the cookie jar. One-on-one, the big body of Lomas. There's the confidence we talked about against the run and play. Nice long ball in. Marios Lomas just going in that one-on-one. Harriel comes from behind, drags him down the entire time. Yeah, right leg catches right on the knee. Lomas had a nice touch out in front of him. Harriel has to be smarter. He's going nowhere, going to the end line. North Carolina can steal something just before half.
And Marios Lomas wants the spot kick to make it 2-2 to start 2019 for Marios Lomas, and it's well saved. Lomas on the follow, a double save from Carlos Miguel Coronel, and we go into the break 0-0. What a double save from the Bethlehem Steel goalkeeper.
You kidding me? Woo! How pretty was that? And that man is going to have nightmares about the past 3 minutes leading in to the end of this first half. Lomas goes low to the goalkeeper's right, does not hit it hard enough or tuck it inside that post. Cornell has to go to ground twice. A little bit of theatrics. Bruce Globler, old school, love the wobbly knees, even better on the 2 saves. And that, my friends, is a confidence booster to send you to the dressing room.
And that is no doubt the best look at it. Coronel standing tall after making the initial penalty save. And in the most unlikely of fashions, we reach the break. Bethlehem Steel 0, North Carolina FC 0. Marios Lomas with some chances at the end of the first half, including from the penalty spot. But we remain goalless going into the break between Bethlehem Steel and North Carolina FC. Bethlehem Steel 0, North Carolina FC 0. In the most unlikely of circumstances, a penalty given with 15 seconds left to play in the first half to Mario Slomas, who did well to get the better of Nathan Harriel. But from the penalty spot, he could not get the better of Carlos Miguel Coronel. And we go into the break tied at 0. As we want to take you through some of the interesting relationships here across the the Bethlehem Steel organization, and particularly their head coach, Brendan Burke, and his interesting partnership with his assistant, Stephen Hogan, as well.
It's really interesting the way that the Philadelphia Union, Bethlehem Steel, and Reading United have put all of these pieces together. And if you start with Brendan Burke, takes over Reading United. From there, 2008, 2013, one of his players, Stephen Hogan. So it's kind of the James Chambers reference where Hogan comes in, he gets to funnel him in, then Hogan, as Burke steps up to the Bethlehem Steel, Hogan steps in, he takes over the reins, gets the nod at Reading United. Burke at the time is not only head of Bethlehem Steel, but he's also getting reps with the Philadelphia Union as an assistant. And then guess what? Stephen Hogan, you've done such a good job. Why don't you come join me on the sidelines? And now that's his first assistant. They've got a new head coach at Reading United, but Brendan Burke being honored most recently before the game, 100th game in charge, and it really goes to show you the relationships that they create from the players all the way to the personnel, the management up top. It's really nice to see all three of those funnel together. And
you see part of that 100th game ceremony was James Chambers, who on St. Patrick's Day, we're going to obviously talk about the veteran Irishman, club's all-time leader in a variety of statistics. He is such an important player to this organization.
Burke in charge for 100 games. He's been on the field for 85 of them.
And so, the only constant, really.
Yeah, and so obviously that's his go-to guy, and very much well should be, especially with the experience he's acquired, but also within this organization. We referenced how don't be surprised if you see Chambers to continue forward on the path of a coaching. They already kind of utilize him in that role on the field. Let's see what he ends up doing off of it once his career's over.
Yeah, you'd imagine he will continue to move up in this organization. Once again, your score out of the break, Bethlehem Steel 0, North Carolina FC 0. More in our halftime show on the way.
What does it take to be a champion? Skill, strength, vision, an unrelenting desire to prove your worth week in, week out. An army of fans behind you screaming your name. And sometimes just a bit of luck. For 631 games over the course of the next 9 months, 22 players will step on the field to answer the question, why will it be you and not them? And of 36 teams, from the champions of yesterday to the challengers of tomorrow. What does it take to be a champion?
Bethlehem Steel 0, North Carolina FC 0 on a St. Patrick's Day evening. Actually, St. Patrick's Day Eve evening. As Chris Whittingham, Devin Kerr here on commentary. A cracking end to the first half of this one. I want to bring you some of the latest from around the United Soccer League Championship. As we want to start first, what a great weekend of attendance across the league. 91,341 fans across 17 games. And also we have our first hat-trick hero of the USL Championship season, Shane Malcolm, with 3 against LA Galaxy 2 for Colorado Springs Switchbacks.
New Mexico United took the cake in that number for the attendances, and they did a great job unveiling their home stadium, but now they go on the road, got to deal with Phoenix Rising, a bit more of a hostile environment with the Banditos and the Red Fury. Shane Malcolm was on fire for Steve Trittschuh and Colorado Springs, and they did very well for themselves, jumping atop the Western Conference to start, but they got a little bit more of a formidable foe today, taking on Sacramento Republic, and we know what they're capable of. Academy. That's been really fun to see what they're going to put into place. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out in the long run, but nice to see that the global game starting to make a bit more of an impact with the intertwining tournaments and moving from the youngsters up. Good stuff.
Just in general, as the infrastructure continues to build in this league, you will see it make an impact in championship level, at League One level, and obviously as we go down the leagues as well. In terms of games going on right now in the USL Championship, busy slate of games, and you see a lot of 1-0s up on the board. Charleston leading against Hartford Athletic. Tampa Bay by that same scoreline against Pittsburgh. Ottawa Fury through Carl Howarth lead by a goal to 0 against Birmingham Legion.
Nashville, St. Louis. High-powered offense in Nashville, and St. Louis going on the road. Got the win last week versus Indy 11, so they've seen the offenses before. Bob Lilly and co. get it going. Had the first week bye, going to Al Lang Stadium. Tampa Bay Rowdies, who surprisingly went on the road to Memphis. Rowdies have only had a handful of wins in the past few seasons going on the road, so nice to see them start off well and looking to get it done at home tonight.
A pair of teams in the championship losing 20 goal scorers to Nashville FC, and North Carolina FC is one of them without Daniel Rios in 2019. And tonight, they're 0-0 at the break against Bethlehem Steel. Bethlehem Steel nil, North Carolina FC nil. Second half action coming momentarily. We want to take a look at the highlights, and really the highlight from the first half. There are a few half chances from either team, but really the big moment comes at the end of the first half. Marios Lomas in on goal and taken down by Nathan Harrell. Let's take a look at how that whole scenario played out for North Carolina FC, who nearly go into the break with the lead. As well, before we get to that, I do want to show you first half stats from this one and how the possession, and 50-50, although you see shots well favoring North Carolina FC, which kind of matches the eye test. You mentioned Bethlehem Steel did well getting the ball in the final third, but not a lot of connectivity and chance creation once they got there.
Lacking production for sure. And the possession crept up for North Carolina FC. Bethlehem was holding a bit more, and you mentioned at the half chances, the Zandy strike early on. We saw Austin Deleuze and Iwolo get something. Iwolo tried to pick off the near post, but good save by the Brazilian, who made a great job on the save on the PK. And I really liked what North Carolina did growing into this game. The final 10 minutes of the first half, not that there was a lot to write home about, but they started to find their form a little bit. Dave Sarakin told us that his biggest thing was, and we said this in the open, they want to push their pace. They want to be on the front foot. We didn't see that. They were reacting a lot to what Bethlehem was throwing at them. Now, it's a very difficult press by the boys in white, but they started to figure out, give themselves some opportunities down the pitch, and they were able to get a PK out of it. Couldn't convert, but it's still an opportunity for them to find net.
North Carolina FC getting us started in the second half, and straight away an opportunity on here for Donovan Iwolo, charging in towards that penalty area, charging through, but a tackle coming across, and I believe it would actually be a free kick as well for Bethlehem Steel, as rampaging through to try and win the ball back was Shivani Willis.
That's the second time we've seen Willis go to ground. He did it in the first half as well, and I wonder if that's funneling over. Or just the tackle that he just got stuck in on. Big frame, Shivani Willis. Another one of the Jamaicans on this Bethlehem Steel squad. Sitting right around 6'2", and I like the look they give you now with he and James Chambers in the middle of the field. A bit different than what you saw last year with the Steel. A lot of times they had that 4-2-3-1 system. The holding midfielder next to Chambers could change out, but familiar name seemed to be Drew Skundrich. That's not the case this year. A lot of times you'll see Willis step up a little bit higher, and as we mentioned, James Chambers has no problem being that captain and really funneling play through him, dropping in between the center backs, then trying to explode going forward.
And an early second half talking to there from Lauren Varga, our match day referee, to Nathan Harrell. Thought it was a fairly cynical tackle in there from Harrell and could have perhaps earned himself a booking, but referee electing just a talking to. Taylor, first time in the path of Stephen Miller, tries to play to the edge of the penalty area, tries to flick on here for Lomas. And last-ditch defending there, sliding in was Benofemu, as Spies did a quality ball in there for Lomas.
Ben Spies is unlucky this doesn't come off his foot a bit harder, because it's a nice touch right at the top of the box. Cute little flick in between the legs, but doesn't come off further enough to Lomas to really explode onto it, get into the space, and have a go.
And now a corner here for North Carolina FC. Playing towards that penalty spot. After a couple of ricochets, it's Bethlehem Steel charge on here through Willis. The left boot attempted there, and a fortunate deflection here for Bethlehem Steel as Rian tried to slide in DeVries, who's frustrated that ball didn't come quicker. And on the floor as well. And again, a deflection benefits Bethlehem Steel into the path of Rian. DeVries, loose touch, and taken off it by Deleuze. So that time is not always on there. Bethlehem Steel might need to make quicker decisions. Here's Spies now with some space. Lofting it out to this right-hand side, sending Stephen Miller to chase. As Deleuze on the edge, who will turn and cross blindly, and will land on the roof of Carlos Miguel Coronel's goal. Coronel, fantastic ending to that first half. The penalty save and then following it up. Both from Lomas. Incredible work from the Bethlehem goalkeeper.
Especially when you have to go to ground.
Right.
Because you have to recover.
And he kind of stayed big. He wasn't entirely on the ground. He took it off his chest.
Yeah.
Second time.
Yeah, with all due respect to goalkeepers, it's difficult to save a pen in general, but to go to ground, regain your composure, get back up, and then do it again, that's all your training. Just make sure that you stay sound in your positioning when you do that.
because the thought has to be racing through your head. My God, I've just saved a penalty, job done, but no, it's not, as Lomas was coming rushing in to try and poke it past him on the follow. Free kick here for Bethlehem Steel. And again, that's the song from the supporters is there's only one James Chambers. And for this club, he is that kind of important. Chambers will leave it though for Real. Lofted in and far too much loft on it. And away for an easy goal kick. Brotherton. Appears though we've not had any early changes here for either team, as Iwolo is now on to chase. A fantastic sliding tackle in there from Nathan Harriel. Austin Deleuze. The stalwart of North Carolina FC. Gone through multiple names and multiple leagues, but Austin Deleuze has been one of the constants as he heads on here for Ben Spies in the path of Lomas! And what a first-time strike that is! Marios Lomas atoning for his penalty miss in the first half. He makes it two goals in 2 games for North Carolina FC, who lead by a goal to 0.
Now the PK right at the end of the first half. Obviously challenging the character of Marios Lomas. Opening 6 minutes of this second half. NCFC doing much better with their movements in the final third. How pretty is this? First of all, the ball brought down in the middle of the field. Nice little turn to flick on by Miller, and just on the half volley. Catches it on the way up, keeps it low. Make Cornell second guess exactly where it's gonna go and just buries it into the back of the net. Great job by the visitors to really push their pace here in the second half.
And even if Cornell could have told where that ball was going, there's no saving that. That is perfectly hit into the side netting. And Marios Lomas getting 2019 off to a great start. And also for a center forward that had the last few minutes of the first half that he had, incredible confidence to take on that kind of hit 5 minutes into the second half and pretty quickly put that mistake in the rearview mirror.
How many matches have you seen where those events play out, they put their head down, they disappear from the game, maybe even end up getting subbed off, but Marios Lomas not shying away from a challenge. Great job here in the early goings.
And he will take plenty of confidence and earn the confidence of his new manager, Dave Sarakin. And now Bethlehem Steel will concede for the first time in 2019. They'll look to recover, but it's North Carolina who right now might look more likely to get a second. Iwolo. Well done to leave it for Guillen. Deleuze. What a moment of quality that was from Marios Lomas to make it 1-0 to the visitors. Guillen tries to chip in towards Lomas. Central defensive partnership combining to deal with that. I'm going to do so again, Topi.
Everything just going right on that play. And all from core returning players as well. We referenced how Sarakin kept 10 out of his current 22. And you have the header by Deleuze, you have the great touch by Stephen Miller, and even better finish by Marios Lomas. All veterans from this club looking to continue the path that they set forth last week in that great 4-1 victory over Louisville.
And you wonder as well what manager with the experience that Dave Sarakin has would have said to his striker at halftime. So, calm down, still believe in you. You had a bad moment there, but you'll get another chance.
That's a nice way of putting it. Could have easily been, hey, get your head out of, yeah, okay. Yeah, it could go either way, but, you know, conversations with Dave Sarakin, it sounds like he's probably more on the positive side of things. And there's another look. It's just so difficult to do that. Ball over your shoulder, tracking, then on the one hop. But most assuredly, he just said, listen, you know, we built a little bit into this game. We're starting to get you some looks. Keep your head up. Things are going to come. We'll find you again. They sure enough did.
Real. And then Cole Turner going through the penalty area, and easy work for Tambakis. So you know the teams for these two sides. For North Carolina FC, Alex Tambakis in goal. Right to left across the back four of DJ Taylor, Alexander Comcia, Sam Brotherton, and Aaron Guillen. And midfield four of Stephen Miller, Thomas McCabe, Austin DeLuz, and Donovan Iwolo. Ben Spies in behind Marios Lomas. As the ball run out of play for a throw for Carolina. For Bethlehem Steel, Carlos Miguel Coronel in goal. Big penalty save in the first half. Nathan Harriel, Ben Ofemu, Jamoy Topi, and Matt Real across the back four. In midfield, Cole Turner, Shivani Willis, James Chambers, and Zach Zandy. As the ball is played in the path of Donovan Iwolo, and coming across very well was Topi, Ofemu. And out for a goal kick as he managed to play it off Iwolo. Shivani Willis, James Chambers, Zach Zandy. The midfield, Jack DeVries in behind Issa Rayan. Well done there by Ofemu.
Yeah, tail two halves going on right now, though, between Bethlehem Steel. So again, well done by Ofemu. Well done by the center back, Alex Comcia, heading that back. But tail two halves, 11 minutes in, and outside of the goal, it's not the only thing going on for North Carolina. They have just started to find the pockets that they were really lacking in the first half, and it's all about spacing. And so not just the conversation that went on with Lomas in the first half and Dave Sarakin at halftime, but everybody else. You could see that they were struggling on the outsides, because what you were seeing from Bethlehem Steel were Zach Zandy and Cole Turner were tucking inside.
That's a great ball there from Guillen after a fantastic first touch. Now Iwolo into the penalty area, getting turned, leaving here for DeLuz. Plenty of pace on that. He manages to take the sting out of it. Stephen Miller. It's waiting for an option to present itself, and it's back with Comcia. You mentioned those spaces and those pockets. As I say that, Comcia nearly giving away. Instead playing it up for Miller. Now McCabe trying to win it back.
You're right, when you go to get into tactics, and they start to push the envelope a little bit, but their outside midfielder was stepping in. There's a lot of space to explore inside. The backs were getting in on the outside.
Saw the acres of space there for Zandy, who tried to play it through for Rian. And it comes through to Tambakis.
And North Carolina just struggling to pick them up, and communication could have been a factor. But they've kind of given them a taste of their own medicine a little bit so far. Iwolo has come in a bit, Stephen Miller as well, and you've seen some overlapping runs start to develop in the likes of DJ Taylor and Aaron Guillen. Dave Sarakin just moments ago telling Aaron, get out here, because as the ball cycled back around, he wanted him on the touchline so that ball could come quickly and they could go in transition much faster. That's been the key. Much more methodical in the first half, willing to sit back a little bit and I guess kind of have to play with the press, but that's not what they're about. Remember, their philosophy is make them chase you, make them play your game. We didn't see that in the first 45. Much better so far in the second half.
And you have the opportunity to hear some of the instructions being shouted out. Lomas' touch a bit heavy, allows Chambers to recover. Rian. And well done there by Lomas, who's tracking back, doing that defensive work. It's a late tackle in there from Nathan Harriel. Iwolo would not be pleased. And it's quite late from Harriel. Iwolo just making sure everything is okay. You wonder if the Cameroonian winger would have wanted a bit more discipline there for Harriel for that late sliding tackle. for North Carolina. In the path of Spees. Trying to shoulder him off it there was Willis, but Spees able to deliver into the penalty area. Cut out. McCabe and Guillen. Find his center back Brotherton. Along with his experience in the New Zealand setup, also played collegiate soccer. University of Wisconsin. And now DeVries got some space. Rian trying to make the run. And DeVries picked the right option. So it allows Deleuze to recover, but does play it towards Rian and try to flick on there for Zandy. And well done there by Guillen just to get it away. Real. DeVries trying to flick on there for Turner, but instead gives away. Now Lomas tried to flick on, but well dealt with there by Topi. Here is Jamoy Topi. Now Zandy turning into some space. He's finding some pockets in the second half. Chambers works the 1-2, tries to play the return ball as James Chambers. That would have been lovely, but it's cut out, and Spees allows Lomas to run onto it. Advantage given, Marios Lomas. And I'll leave it with Iwolo. Deleuze. Well done there by the referee. Almost stopped play there for the tackle on Spees. Allowed Lomas to rampage forward. Good ball on the channel and a better first time ball there from Stephen Miller, but Taylor unable to get onto it. Now we're gone, and North Carolina lead by a goal to nil. The first time strike from Marios Lomas, the second of the campaign.
A couple nice goals floating around the championship today. Lomas had his strike, and he brought up Lewis at the Battery. He had a good one. Sean Barry sighting in Tampa Bay. They're in that 1-0 lead. He had a great crack off a corner kick. Second effort at the top of the box, but still able to find the back of the net.
Spees. Iwolo trying to set up his cross. We have been told that we'll have a change here. It looks like DeVries who will make way. Patrick Bowie. And here is the 15-year-old Belgian on for the 16-year-old native of Maryland. I wouldn't see too many of those kinds of changes in professional soccer. A 15-year-old on for a 16-year-old.
It's a bit of a conundrum just coming out, listening to it, but showing you Bethlehem more than willing to give these young lads a chance. And most of these guys have done well for themselves, but they've been struggling here in the second half. It's in and out as James Chambers is furious with Laurent Varga. Now he's going to issue him the card.
And it is yellow for Aaron Guillen.
James Chambers was more than vocal after this challenge, and I've seen Harriel a few times. And oh, Guillen very late there.
Late and high as well.
Yeah.
I imagine it would mortify some in our audience to know that Patrick Bowie, who just came on, was born in 2003. Certainly mortifies at least one commentator.
You went there, didn't you? I'll give it to you. Fair enough.
Well, I was talking about me,
Oh,
not
okay,
you.
okay. Well, I threw myself under the bus then. Taxi.
See some of the scores coming in from across the championship on the top right corner of your screen. Blue Dawn United. Goes in action, leading by a goal to nil against Memphis 901. Griffin Yao with a goal in that one for Lou Don, the new USL Championship side. Sean Barry still the lone goal that separates Tampa Bay and Charleston. Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. Charleston lead by a goal to nil over Hartford through Zico Lewis. Here multiple shouts of Chambo as James Chambers plays it for Real. Racing down that left-hand side. Tries to clip towards Bowie. And out for a goal kick is Real's had a little bit of a struggle down that left-hand side this evening, particularly with the ball in.
And definitely not what we saw last week, at least, and definitely not what we saw in the first half earlier today. That goes to North Carolina, making some changes on their own.
Well, that's a poor giveaway there. Appeals for offside given against Issa Rayan, and I think what James Chambers is saying that's a back pass. And Rayan unable to take advantage of that.
And what the referee's determining is this going to be called a back pass, or is this coming off a deflection? It's 100. Does he get a deflection? No, that's clean in. He's off. He's coming from an offside position, tracking back. Chambers was trying to have an argument about the top of your screen with DJ Taylor trying to tuck back inside, but ran still about a foot and a half or so offside.
Robert Christo being prepared to come on. The sub a week ago and scored. Trying to do the same tonight. We're told it will be Lomas who will make way for Robert Christo. Turner trying to find the run of Zandy. Does very well to take off the chest. Tries to play it across, but well dealt with there by Brotherton, who tracked the run. Now Lomas might have been his last touch of this one, trying to find Spees, but well dealt with there by James Chambers. Behtlehem. Another good ball into the channel this time, trying to find Rayan, who just couldn't settle the touch. Great idea there. Rayan has made some really strong runs tonight, just that inch away from being able to really take advantage.
Much more active in the second half, Rayan, and you've seen him kind of stretch the defense a bit further, especially with the substitution with DeVries going off and the youngster tucking in underneath him.
And now Turner trying to put North Carolina under pressure, and Brotherton able to keep it in play, but find a fellow blue shirt in TJ Taylor. And now Taylor trying to find the run, Ivi Wolo. Forces Topi turn towards play, but able to nick it off of Stephen Miller there. Now the fourth officials board will go up as Lomas will make way for Robert Christo as we take a look at his goal. Here you see the first time ball over the top there from Miller, and the first time hit there from Lomas. Have a look at this angle. Bang.
Great stuff from the big number 9. Only a difference of the debacle in 6 minutes on the game clock, referencing the PK miss and then the great finish, but probably about 20 minutes overall with halftime, and what a great job by the big guy up top to just gather his thoughts, try and gain back some of that confidence. They started to feed him early on, and just 5 minutes into the second half, able to find net. Great shift by Marios Lomas.
And you wonder if he comes off in the 67th minute without scoring that goal. Is the video we just run of that penalty miss and the follow-up as well.
And that all goes back to the mental psyche that plays into all these organizations, but that's not the case, and almost assuredly coming off in this time frame because of the press that's been played, and he's had to do a lot of chasing up top, back and forth, next to Ben Spees. Ben Spees a little bit more accustomed to it based upon the systems he's played in. Indy chased like that last year as well, and maybe a bit more fit. Also still early in the season. These guys are in preseason and still finding their legs. A good job by the number 9, find his way back in, get net. Only did it 8 times last year, already done it twice so far.
Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. As Tambakis will just be forced to put it out of play. Search for Bethlehem Steel or North Carolina FC and then click the follow button to keep up to date with the latest news and scores, plus get reminders on their next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. As Brotherton slides away. And again, allows Taylor to play. DeLue's trying to poke through towards substitute Christo. And they're coming together there in the center of the park. McCabe giving away the free kick. Now Bethlehem try and swing one in towards that penalty area. On 70 minutes. Now referee Varga saying, please, Thomas McCabe, allow James Chambers to take this free kick. Six on the edge for Bethlehem, and it's Chambers who just strikes towards goal. Wonder if he's hoping there for Tambakis to spill. Oh, he's hopeful in the end.
That's the veteran hitting that with a wink and a prayer. That's a pretty big distance and just not enough power. You're gonna put your laces on this one. He kind of goes just a touch in between. Not a boatload of spin on the ball, but definitely hit 3/4 with the instep.
Iwolo flicking on, trying to find Robert Christo. Now Bethlehem trying to play out of the pressure and giving away. Well done there by DeLuze. Spies can turn into space. Here's Ben Spies. Can he have a hit towards goal? Ben Spies! And again, saved there by Coronel. Well done there. Spies, it looked like it opened up for him. He had a window to aim at, but Coronel had it covered. Gian, his right-footed delivery cut out. Now Cole Turner trying to start the counter, and a sliding tackle in from Taylor, and a free kick. As here's the chance on for Ben Spies. Just opened up for him after the giveaway in the center of the park.
Good job by Ben Spies. Just allowing this play to develop in front of him. See the hesitation. Shivani Willis stops and then goes with him. That allows him to just open up his hips and try and pick out the far post. Couldn't get enough power behind it. Great goalkeeping once again. And notice the save, that when he shifted over, instead of spilling that all the way over to the back-ended post runs, he had center backs in front of him. So if he was going to give up a deflection, he was going to be right in front of him. Center back just clears it off the line.
And now Real allowed to run at defenders. It does seem right now that North Carolina look more likely to get a second than Bethlehem Steel look to get an equalizer, but it can change quickly. As North Carolina will be pinned deep in their own end with a throw-in. As referee is saying to DJ Taylor, you're going to have to take it a bit further back. And now you see here the high press of Bethlehem Steel. 7 white shirts trying to pack the pressure on and make it difficult for North Carolina to play out. Chested down there by Christo. Awkward there. The attempt to clear. And in the end, Miller does eventually get it launched. And now, Iwolo to chase, but goalkeeper well off his line. And the Brazilian Coronel sending it long. Chambers. And Real crossing in towards the substitute Bowie. And just a bit awkward there off of Willis. And again, the high press on. Feels for handball against Cole Turner, not given by the referee, but instead it's Willis who gives away possession. And now Spies can charge out. With Gian calmly playing are the visitors with their lead under pressure. And look, as calm as you like. Taylor, Stephen Miller, the cross is in towards substitute Cristo. Rollo arriving as well. Now Spies and Taylor. The best run of possession there in North Carolina FC, and a quality sliding tackle in there from Matt Real. Real trying to poke around the slide of Comcia. And out for a Bethlehem throw-in. Zandy. Turning there is Zach Zandy. We have been told that Steve Kingay is the latest Bethlehem sub being prepared. Chambers and Willis. Ofemu playing and finding towards Rian, and that falls kindly here for Matt Real, who can charge towards the penalty area. The cross is delivered, and there's way too much on it. It goes out the other side, and again, service just the issue this evening for Matt Real.
That's not usually the case from him either. He's got that big left foot, but I guess the story about to be told earlier on, because we saw him hit that terrible set piece in the first half. That's funneled over into his service throughout the portion of this game, and just really struggling to find anybody in the box. Sometimes you put your head down and have a go and let someone run onto it. Couldn't even do that.
Now it's the native of Malawi, Yamikani Chester, being prepared from North Carolina, but there's confirmation of the Kingay substitution. There's Chester. Will not come on here, so that change will have to wait just a moment. Kian getting it forward towards Cristo. Chambers. Full nice here for Rian. Poke to the substitute Kingay, and Real again. Steve Kingay, 19-year-old from Cameroon. And again, Real struggling on that left-hand side. And now the change to be confirmed here for North Carolina. And it's Stephen Miller who's going to come all the way across, and I imagine will take his sweet time.
Every second counts here. Really what you have to say with everybody from North Carolina so far. It's the verbiage before, but has grown into this game, and Stephen Miller, no shortage of that. Got the assist on the goal by Mario Slomas. Sweet little ball played in. Luz did the dirty work, but Miller put it on a platter for Lomas. Good shift from him tonight.
And there is Yamikani Chester coming on, I imagine. Pretty close to a like-for-like change. 24-year-old from Malawi. Well, it does look like it'll be Iwolo who will move out to that right-hand side, and Chester will play here on this left-hand side as a winger. Patrick Bowie. Harriel out towards Real. Tries to deliver, and quite fortunate there for Donovan Iwolo as the cross came off him and then off Real and out for a goal kick.
This would be a good test for the youngsters early on in the season. You go on the road, get a nice victory, opening day at Birmingham Legion, and now you're at home, down 1-0. The second half has definitely not gone the way you want it to, especially with the first. And we talked about their lack of chances on the offensive side of things, but did very well from a structural standpoint defensively to keep North Carolina at bay. Big PK save right before halftime. You would think that would give them some momentum, propel them, and that hasn't been the case. They've been the ones who have been chasing a lot. North Carolina making Bethlehem steal North Carolina's game. That's what Saracen wanted. The youngsters still have time to get back into this. Good test of character.
Chambers. Ball between the lines. That's a high boot, though, from Rian, and dangerous in the perspective of Alexander Comcia. And a free kick here for North Carolina. Just a bit dangerous there for native of Grand Blanc, Michigan, Issa Rian.
Comcia clutching the jawline. Smart by the center back to make the quick step and get his head in there, but he knew what he was putting his body into. Just shake it off and move forward. There it is. Oh.
I mean, I believe there is an allegation coming from the sideline, never touched him. That is not what that video reveals. That's a bit of a nasty one there from Rayan. And straight away, Comcia getting stuck in the tackle. Just a bit about his mentality there. And it looked dangerous, and Chester had read it, but not quite a turnover in play. Ariel delivering towards the area, awkward off of Brotherton. Will fall here for Zandy, who tries to play it across. And instead dealt with there by Brotherton, who makes amends. Famu to no one in particular, and harmlessly out for a goal kick.
Zandy couldn't pull this off, but nice composition on the ball. You know,
Sure.
Long ball played in, and he takes the stutter step, holds up play, had the run trailing right at the top of the 6, couldn't get across his body, but I mean, you got to give him a bit of a round of applause, because it's not easy to compose yourself like that, 2 guys around you, and then try and push forward like that in the final third.
Famu and flicked up well there by Bowie. Rayan might still fall kindly for him, but North Carolina FC have done just enough to put the 18-year-old off all night. And now Cristo able to take it off the chest. Unable to find Iwolo. A little more than 9 minutes to play in the 90. Will there be another goal? And will it either add to the lead of North Carolina FC or equalize for Bethlehem Steel? As Cristo tried to play it across for Chester. And the substitutes unable to combine, but it does result in a corner for North Carolina FC.
On the battery added another one. Hartford Athletic not getting their season off to the start they wanted.
Yeah, Dante Marini for Charleston Battery. Make it 2-0.
Jimmy the White Puma Nielsen is back, but not in full force just yet. Give it time. We'll get there, folks.
And now a corner for North Carolina. Can they add a second? Delivered towards that penalty spot. Will fall here for Brotherton, who strikes. And now Rayan just boots it away. And now Guillen, if we were to take this throw in, was taking a few steps back to try and execute the long throw. Instead, leaves it here with Thomas McCabe. Turns and now forces Topi to play under pressure. Rather Ofemu. A throw in here for Bethlehem. Willis. And Real in space. And the substitute Kingay. Forced to turn. Now trying to take on multiple defenders and was always going to give the ball away, and fouls Iwolo, the fellow Cameroonian. Might wonder how Bethlehem have so many internationals out on the pitch. Brazilian and Ivorian. Bring a Cameroonian and a Belgian off the bench. They did acquire 5 additional international slots for their team in exchange for cash from Ottawa Fury, Loudon United, and Sacramento Republic. So despite the limits on domestic players, Bethlehem paying to allow their 15-year-old Belgian to come on.
And unsurprising, James Chambers making friends in the closing of this game with DJ Taylor. Chambers a fiery one for sure.
We'll make friends with about anyone in the center of the park, James Chambers.
In more ways than one.
Giovanni Willis. Brotherton trying to get something on it, but it comes out here to Rayan. We'll try and cross. Standing tall there was Comcia. Really done there by Ariel, and better done there by Rayan to And Chester flying in the other direction with the service claimed there by Tambakis.
The late run by the young substitution, but you have to question Tambakis on this. Why not come off your line there? Lets it drop in front of him, and even then still hesitates to come and get it.
Great take there from Christo, but put on there by Topi. Hold on there by Real. Tries to find some space. Very calmly done there for Kingay. Harriel. Behtlehem since going that goal down, if not really created that gilt edge chance. Real had gotten the head start on that sprint. Might just have been able to catch it on the slow surface, but it is a throw in for North Carolina. And DJ Taylor just taking his sweet time and handing the ball back to the ball boy. Make sure everything's taken care of. And I believe you heard Brendan Burke say, there's 30 seconds. Poked into the path of Chambers. Finds Zandy on the edge. And now Chambers again making friends in midfield. And now opportunity here for Bethlehem Steel. And Rayan. Good service is in. Headed away by Taylor. Willis and Kingay and Real to deliver to the substitute. Bowie will come here for Rian. Across the header, glancing in, and just unable to direct it on the target. It remains in play. And now here's Real. Flashing across the face of goal there, that header. A bit more power towards target, and turning there and playing the ball with his hand. Advantage given, and now away here is Christo, and it gets caught in his feet. He was clean in on goal. Robert Christo, if he's able to sort his feet out, and instead, here come Bethlehem Steel through Real. Poked into the path of Kingay. Left-footed deliveries, lofted towards Rayan. Stepping in there to head was Guillen. Just a bit of end-to-end stuff right now in this one. Now Spies in plenty of space. As is Chester. Substitute able to run towards these defenders. Cutting on to his right, Yamakani Chester. Forcing Cornell into yet another save. Hole in the earth on that near side. Took a sandwich out there. Chester again, able to run at defenders. Getting some joy down this left-hand side. Chester to the edge of the area. Deleuze unmarked will have a strike. Allow the defender to come closer, and a second deflected shot. Bethlehem able to get it clear. Breathless stuff, Devin Kerr.
It's just wide open match right now. Round and round we go, and I like the Earth comment. Aaron Guillen actually stopped, played groundskeeper for a second. Kind enough to step off.
Here's Rayan onside, waiting for an option. Shouts from the technical area to help him. Chambers is that help. Here's the Irishman again. Now charging on Willis. And always dragged wide.
A bit more energy from the home squad, so that's nice to see.
I wonder if Brendan Burke might have wanted that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, Rayan down in the near side of things has served in some really nice balls, but no one's been able to get on the end of them. North Carolina had an opportunity through Robert Christo to seal the deal. The ball got stuck up underneath his feet, and Bethlehem just collected.
Put on there by Christo to flick on, and Spies allows Chester to try and chase, but leaves too much of it there for Harriel. Ian coming through, taking another sizable divot. Look at that chunk. This pitch.
It's seen better days, hasn't it?
We've not quite reached spring in Philadelphia.
That's dangerous. Yeah, that's very dangerous for players, and all of them are quite well aware of what's going on, trying to help each other out while still doing war.
Spies. Which has seen plenty of work between Philadelphia already playing a home match. The match day of the She Believes Cup was held at this ground. And one last change on here for Carolina as Graham Smith will come on. And it'll be Austin DeLuz who will make way. And we'll also give him the captain's armband.
Graham Smith getting a nice ovation as he comes on. Pennsylvania native and former Reading United man. Also played at Pitt for a little while before he transferred over to USF, and the local fave have not forgotten him.
32 appearances in his first season in USL a year ago. Now, Christo doing the work of 3 by the corner flag, and everyone goes falling down. I believe referee is going to whistle for a free kick for Bethlehem Steel. And they'll have 4 minutes to try and grab the equalizer, a minimum of 4 minutes to be added on at the end of this match.
And all of that energy we saw in the opening 45, Chris, and probably the last 3 or 4 minutes from Bethlehem really starts to need to translate into something. They've worked too hard in this match to get to where they're at and not have something to show for it. North Carolina got out in front, and they deserve the goal for sure. They've been the better squad in the second half, but Bethlehem has had a few looks. See if they can capitalize on them.
Now throw in the attacking end. Zandy trying to leave it for Harriel, and well done there by Chester to win it back in Chester, Pennsylvania. And now Christo again doing that hopeful chasing. Hasn't had too much of the ball, but has done a lot of running since coming on as a sub. Quality header there from Smith. And now Iwolo, perhaps one last burst of pace for the winger, who's put in a shift himself and straight to the corner flag. Did it go over the line? Either way, one back by Bethlehem. Very calmly play out. Might need to see a bit more urgency from Bethlehem Steel. Chase that equalizer, try and salvage a point, stay unbeaten in 2019. Real. Ofemu. Trying to play it towards Bowie, but closer to a blue shirt. 120 seconds left in the minimum of 4. Lofted long. Trying to flick on there was Chambers. And another physical contest. Tambakis will claim. And now Chester. Can he just put this one away? He's under very strict instructions. Go to the corner flag. Don't be the hero and try and get the late goal. Keeping possession by the corner flag. Although Chester, a little nutmeg. Referee with whistle to mouth. Hasn't just given a free kick. Oh no, it's a corner.
Yeah, he couldn't get it wrong there. I think that might be a gift of going to the corner and just didn't want to deal with the repercussions of blowing the whistle on the tackle because it looked like it was a foul. North Carolina can take it any way they want right now. Ask for 10 yards, quick little touch, and be on with it.
Yes, I believe the Bethlehem Steel technical area continue to ask for 30 more seconds. Another throw in for North Carolina, and these are the kind of things I can't imagine Dave Sarakin would have had too much time to work on these sorts of situations, but his team are handling it like seasoned veterans. Another throw in. Killing off this game. Chester. And finally a throw in for Bethlehem Steel. Will they be given the time, though, to have one last full-way forward? And that is the full-time whistle. Dave Sarakin's men have 6 points from 6. A win against the champions a week ago, and a first away win by a 0-0 for Dave Sarakin and North Carolina FC.
Not the overwhelming performance we saw on opening day versus the defending champs of Louisville City. But Dave Sarakin has to be proud of his squad. Came into a hostile environment on the team that was flying high themselves after the 2-0 victory over the Birmingham Legion. And Bethlehem still started quick. They really came out and made North Carolina chase, do the things that they wanted to do. North Carolina consistently finding themselves on the back foot, figuring out which direction they were going to head. But at halftime, Sarakin did his managerial duties, had a few words with the boys up top. Marios Lomas gets a fantastic goal. Goes off right around the 70th minute mark. Able to get out of here with a 1-0 victory. Good stuff.
As we can now bring you our full-time highlights of this one. Bethlehem Steel going down to North Carolina FC, and let's bring you the best chances and the goals, or goal in this one, as Donovan Iwolo would create the first opportunity here for North Carolina FC, striking towards goal when the angle did not look on for it. And well done to make the goalkeeper work.
Interesting, in the opening 15 minutes, Bethlehem actually had the better run of plays. Zandy had a strike in the 8th minute, and Iwolo tries to get cued on the near post. But good goalkeeping. That was kind of the sentiment we heard out of Carlos Cornell all night long, especially on the PK save. James Chambers, nice ball in. Thought we got the flick to the back post. Some sparring sessions started to take place. This was at the close of the first half, and this is the penalty. Nathan Harriel gets caught out of position, turned around, takes Lomas down to the ground. 100% Laurent Varga has to point to the spot. But no problem. The Brazilian says, I can help you out with that, boys. Don't worry, you make a mistake, I'll make up for it. Carlos Cornell, great double save on the PK, gets them into the dressing room, knotted up at 0 at halftime.
And Marios Lomas could have potentially sunk and lost his confidence after that. An incredible double save. But here would be the goal for North Carolina FC. Swept away, Deleuze winning the header. First time ball there from Miller, and look at this hit from Lomas.
How pretty, how pretty. 3 nice little touches, 4 off of Stephen Miller with the double, but Deleuze knocks the ball back in after the semi-poor clearance from Bethlehem Steel. Good ball over the top. Marios Lomas just takes it right out of the air, tracking it all the way. And there's where it is. And the possession battle came back at the end, but statistically, North Carolina won this battle, including fouls conceded, which became a little bit of a tussle towards the end. But that's what you have to do. You have to get nitty-gritty on the road. You've got to steal 3 points, but Dave Sarakin should be proud of his squad. The way that they fought back, got 3 points on the road, and they're happy to be sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference.
6 points from 6 to start the year, and what a recovery from Marios Lomas after missing that penalty in the first half. Gets the winning goal. Brendan Burke gets celebrated for 100 games with Bethlehem Steel, but it is a losing effort for his men this evening as North Carolina FC, through Marios Lomas, went away from home by a 0-0. The former U.S. men's national team manager, Dave Sarakin, with 6 points from 6 to start his career in the USL Championship. For our broadcast partner, Devin Kerr, and our terrific USL crew, my name is Chris Whittingham, as North Carolina FC get the away victory this evening.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.